Hey there, it's Helen from Lamos here. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you all about Acuity Scheduling, why we think it's the best online booking system there is, how to set it up for your business, and generally why we would recommend it. If you do like the video, please do like it down below and also subscribe to the channel. And please don't forget to hit the bell icon so you see any more videos which we'll be doing, and I will be doing more on Acuity over the next couple of weeks, including ones how to customize things like the look, the colors of it, exactly how it interacts with other systems, and how it looks on your website. So please do like and subscribe, and it would mean a lot. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoy the video. Right, so let's get started. So I thought the best thing to start off by doing is to show you what Acuity looks like to your clients. Now, the best way of actually showing you this is actually show you what it looks like on our own website. So here's our homepage, and we have a Book Now button on it. And if you scroll down, there's an area of your of this page which is directly linked to Acuity through an iframe. Now, on here we have several different types of session, and we've grouped them into categories, which I also talk about later. But on our site we've actually chosen to have the categories condensed so that you don't see all of the sessions listed individually. You see kind of them grouped together in categories just because it looks a bit neater, and if you have lots of different sessions in different locations, it would look a bit messy, so we prefer to have them grouped together. And if you are interested in kind of how I did this, let me know in the comments and I'll put together a video on the best way to do this, because I had to go through to the customer support and basically because I couldn't work out how to do it, but it's actually quite easy when you know how. But let me know in the comments if you'd like to know too. Anyway, so if you're a client, you would click onto whichever session you were interested in. And for us, we have 2 locations, so you would choose whichever one you want. And then it brings up a calendar for you to click on the dates that are available for that particular session or appointment. So if someone wanted a headshot session, this is actually tomorrow. We've only got 1 session left. So they could click on that date and the time and then click continue. And then they get taken to a contact form. And just fill in a few details so you can see how it works. And this information is really important for you as a business, because it basically this is your customer database, and it just means that you can keep in touch with them generally. So just put in some random stuff. These are required fields, so I have to do it. I can't type and talk at the same time, as you can probably tell. If you go down, there's one more which is required. You can choose whichever one you want. I can't spell Google. To have required. And these ones up here, these are the ones that Acuity specified that you have to have, because they're the basis of the database. But these ones are ones that you can choose, and you can basically choose anything. And again, later on in the video, I'll go through exactly how you set up these and a few kind of tricks to make sure that it looks nice. So once they've filled in all of that, they click pay now. And now they can either pay for the session in full, they can pay a deposit or part of the session, which is what we do, and they can pay everything on the day of their appointment, whichever really works for your business. And so after they click that pay now, they get taken through to this payment screen, which in our case links straight through to Stripe. They put in their details, their card number, all the card details, and the postcode where the card is registered to. And the only problem we have is that sometimes people don't know where their card is registered to. Typically, we also have a lot of students who book this session, so sort of they're going to away to study acting at university. They kind of forget if their card is registered at home, or they haven't changed it postcode, and for some they have trouble actually booking the session. But that's the only problem we have. So once they've done all that, they click pay. and they will receive an automatic email to confirm the session. There's also a little kind of message that pops up on screen just to confirm that everything's all gone through and it's all been booked. And you us as clients, we also receive emails with their the payment receipt and also the details that they filled in to the relevant forms. So it's quite nice and easy, really. So let's go on and show you how it all gets set up. Now, right, so that's how we use it within our business, but how do you set it up in the first place? I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that, right through from creating your services, adding the pricing of them, all the details a customer might need to know, and also their availability, and also there's some nicer features like automatic emails and how it integrates with the rest of your business. So I hope you're following along, and if you are, I hope it's all making sense to you. If there's anything that I've missed out on or wasn't clear, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer you or even do a new video to cover that subject. So I hope it's all making sense. For the purpose of this video, I've created a 7-day trial account, and if you haven't done so already, there's a link in the description below of where you can create a 7-day trial account too. So click the link and it should take you straight to the right page. And why not follow along with me and set up your business in the way that you makes sense for you. I'm going to talk about my business, but I'll also give suggestions on how the system could be adapted to different types of businesses. We're photographers, so our experience is using it as a photography studio, but there's lots of other ways and different types of businesses that will be just as beneficial for the software. So first thing you need to do is, when you've signed up for a trial account, you will be taken to this screen, and this is where you put in your details. So the name of the business I'm going to use our actual business name. We are photographers, as I mentioned. Okay, and just click OK. Now, once you've done that, it takes you through a automated process to kind of guide you through the process. In some ways, I like this kind of walkthrough, but in some ways, I don't always agree in the steps in terms of the order. So I'm going to kind of walk you through in the way that I think makes sense for how we use it anyway. The first thing I would recommend you do is to set up the different types of appointments that you use it for, or different types of services, if you like. So if you click on create your appointment types up in the top, the walkthrough area, now you'll see here it says appointment types here, and you can create either a new type of service or a new type of group class. The new type of service is where the service you're offering can be booked only by one person in a specific location at a time. So for example, for us, only one client can book a portrait or a headshot session within our London studio at any one time. However, if you have wanted to use this to arrange something like a training course or maybe a Pilates class or something like that, where you have several different people all attending the same session at the same time in the same location, then you would set that up as a group class here. So I'm going to talk you through the two different ones and set some up for you to see. So let's create a new type of service. Now I'm going to set this up as if I was setting up for our own business. And as I mentioned, we're photographers. We offer actor headshots both from a base in Bristol and a studio in London. So we have two different locations. However, we only have one photographer, and he basically travels between the two sites. So the services that we need to offer the same services, but in the two different locations. So first of all, I'm going to create actor headshots. But I'm going to specify that this is in Bristol. when people are given the option to book this particular type of service, you can give a set a description. And this is kind of what they would see, any information, kind of just a general kind of, I don't know, whatever you want to put. We want to put to create something like kind of for an awesome collection of headshot images, book this session from our Bristol office or something for oops. Okay, so that message will now be available or visible to people when they are interested in actually booking a session. Now, our actor headshot sessions, they last for 60 minutes. So you put that time in here. And the way our actor headshot sessions work is that people don't have to book, commit to a certain number of images in advance, but they just pay a £30 deposit. So I'm just going to put that £30 in here. The amount that you put in here, you have to make sure that that's the amount inclusive of any taxes. So in the UK, we have to charge VAT, but obviously in different countries, you're going to have to charge different government taxes. So whatever that amount, the total of that amount is, you put the amount in here. You can't break it down, unfortunately. One thing to mention as well is if you didn't want to charge for this particular service, for example, if maybe you were a business consultant, for example, and you wanted to offer a free initial meeting with a client so you can chat about their business and how you could help them, you might offer that free of charge, but you want to still give them the ability to book in for that session. So you could add this as a zero price, so which will make it free, but it still creates it as a type of service that they book in for. However, for our example, we want to set it to 30. If you want to, you can have a picture to represent the service that you're offering, and you can also make the particular service either public or private. Now, public means that it would be visible on your booking page of your website, or on the scheduling link, if you like. So any services, this one and any other services that you make public, are all going to be visible on the same scheduling page. So if you've got one main booking page, that's where you would see all the different services listed. However, if you want to make this particular service private, so that only certain people can book it, that maybe you email them a specific link to this service, or maybe you want to have a particular type of service on a different page of your website, so it's not on the main booking page but maybe on a sub page or something, you can have it private and then just put a link to this particular service somewhere else. So they're the two main options, and I'll go through in a bit more detail exactly how they would look on a website, or how you send links and that sort of thing. So then just click create appointment type. Oh, and I realised I've created as private, which I didn't want to do, so let's just go back in and create it as, update it to say public. So now you've got a we've got a service of actor headshots in Bristol. So if we want to do the same thing for London, so you can put just another message in there. Something that I find quite useful there is that you can actually put the address of wherever they're booking for, just to make sure there's no confusion, or a brief description of what the service entails. But basically you can put in whatever you want. I wouldn't put in too much though, because you don't want to make it difficult for people to book the service. Again, we want to book this for 60 minutes. Have it same for £30. Have it as public. So now you've got two different types, the same service but offered in 2 different locations. So something that's quite often useful to do is to actually group those services together. So a way of doing that is creating a category. So if you click back onto one of the services, you'll see this box here that says category. Click on new category, and you just literally kind of create whatever category name you want. And then update. And you'll see that category has appeared now there, and if you just want to apply that category to the other service that you created, see it's appeared in this drop down here now, and click update appointment. So now both of those services are under this same category. When I mentioned before that both of these services will be visible on a scheduling page because we made them public, this is how the scheduling page would look. So if you click preview just there, it's brought in an image from our other account, so just ignore that. And this is kind of roughly how the booking section of your website would look. So here you've got the 2 different services and the kind of main category that they're under. So if you want to click, say I want to arrange a session in Bristol, you click on kind of the service you want, click on the time, and then click continue, and then it will take you through the booking process. So that's how it look for anything that you've made public. If, however, you just want to send someone a link to a specific service, say for example you've had an inquiry for someone who's just based in Bristol, and so you just want to send them that link, you can click on just this here. It's a direct scheduling link. Scheduling, not sure. And here you have a few different options. So you can either just send them a direct link, and you just kind of literally kind of cut and paste that, or press copy here and you paste it into the body of your email. You can embed that particular service into a page on your website. So for example, if you had, in our case, a Bristol headshots page, you can literally have a book now for Bristol option, and you would literally you copy that code here, which is called an iframe, and you paste it into the relevant page on your website. We use WordPress for our website, and it's pretty easy to do that. And also it works very well with things like Squarespace, and Acuity is actually now owned by Squarespace, so I'm sure the integration with Squarespace is even easier than it is to WordPress. But as I say, WordPress is really easy too. You can also have a booking button, so fairly self-explanatory. You have it as if you copy that, it'll add and then insert it into your web page. It'll insert an actual button. You can have a bar at the top of the page up here, and you can also give the ability to book directly from your Instagram account and also from your Facebook account. Facebook isn't listed here for some reason, but there's a really good integration that you can get to Facebook. So literally, if you've got a business account on either Instagram or Facebook, you can just have a book now button on there, so in which we have on both of ours, and I'll do a separate video on how that works at a later stage. But that's how basically the different links work if you kind of want to share different things. And to be honest, you don't even need to have a website if you didn't want to. You could just have send people out links if you wanted to. So if you're the type of business that you don't want to have a website and you just do everything via email, then that's fine. You just literally send people booking links. So that's it for creating the new types of service for individual people and when they're booking for one person at one time. However, for things like when you're booking maybe a training session, or if you're for a group Pilates class or something like that, when there's more than one person attending at any one time in any one location, then you need to create a group class. So if you go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to suggest that we have a create a actor headshots training session for which we would train other photographers how to take headshots. Again, you can put a description, and you can put a custom message after they've booked it on the page on your website. You can specify the time, so maybe this one would be 4 hours. So let's do 3 hours, so 180 minutes. And let's say the price of this is going to be £500. Don't worry about category for now, but again, you can create categories if you want to. The only category it will show is actor headshots, which we don't really want to do right now, so don't worry about that for now. And again, you can make this of a specific color. You can add a photo if you want to, and you can make it either public or private. One thing that's different about this is that because this is a class, a group event, you have to specify the number of people that you want to be able to sign up at any one time. So for example, if you want, in our case, 10 photographers to be able to sign up for the training course, then you put just a number in 10 in this box here, and you click create appointment type. Something else that's different about group sessions is that you have to specify the date and time that they will be held. So which you do as soon as you click create appointment type, it'll take you through the next screen, and you click this offer class. So this basically prompts you to specify exactly when you're going to be running this training course or whatever it is that you're doing. So you click on the offered at, and it'll bring up a calendar. So maybe we're going to offer it next Wednesday at 9 a.m. If you want to have it recurring, say every Wednesday, you can do. Otherwise, just leave it as that. Oh, okay, I've just created a recurring one, but that's fine. And then just click save. Okay, so we've now just created a training course as well. And then after you've done that, just click update appointment type, and it'll take you back to the main appointment types screen. So once you've created the appointment types, the thing you need to do next is to specify when people would be able to book in for those specific appointments. So you need to click on up here where it says set up your calendar availability. Now with availability, you can either specify that you have regular working hours during the week. For example, if you're a hairdresser, you might have regular opening hours, that sort of thing. Same for any kind of type of service business. So for us, this is the easiest way to do things. But for other businesses, it's probably, you might want to specify that you only offer your services on specific days. However, we find this the easiest way, as otherwise we'd probably forget to update the calendar and then wonder why people aren't booking. And basically it's because there's no availability. So we find this the easiest way to do. In here, they've already filled in some standard times for you. You can keep it at these or just tweak them to whatever suits your business. However, we find that by doing it this way, people can actually schedule appointments so that basically you're left with gaps in your diary. So someone could schedule an appointment for 9:30 on a Monday morning, and that means from 9 o'clock to 9:30 you've got wasted time because all of your sessions are an hour, and you obviously can't fit someone in before that other session. So to minimize any spaces where you can't book them in, we actually kind of overwrite these ones, and it's really easy to do. You just type in the start times that you want. So for example, if I want the sessions to happen every hour, so we want one to start at 9, and then so you type number 9 and then a comma, and then 10, 11, 12. Let's give the photographer a break from 1 until 2. So then the next session would be 2, and you have to make sure this is in 24-hour clock. Otherwise, if you put 2, it would schedule it for 2 in the morning, which we've done before now. So yeah, make sure it's in 24-hour clock. So just keep going. as many kind of different sessions as you want, really. So that'll do. So if you now click on a different one, you'll see it's actually changed that to proper times and formatted it properly for you. So to make it applicable to the other days of the week, you can literally just select it all like this and just paste it over the top of the other availability. And then just click save. I'm not sure why it comes up with this message. Oh, probably because after you save it, do you want to leave this particular page or do you want to stay? But we want to stay on for now. And it does say your regular hours have been saved. If you wanted to create specific availability, so you can see here it's populated it with the times that we've just put in, but say you knew that you wanted to take the 22nd, let's say 22nd of August off. So you can literally just go in and delete the availability on that particular day, set hours, and when it comes back, we should see that that day has been marked as closed. So that's a way you can do it like that. So that's a way you can manage your specific availability. Or if you didn't have any hours listed up here, you can literally just kind of put in the times here that you want to offer, that you're available to work. However, a way that we use the business is because, as I said before, we have 2 locations and 1 photographer. So we don't want someone booking in for Bristol when Sean, the photographer, is in London. So we want to specify which times are available for which particular services. And you do about that by going right to the bottom and clicking on set different times for different services, and you click click one at a time. So for this one, I'm going to specify Bristol, and then I'm going to maybe say that maybe he's in Bristol only on Mondays. So I'm going to take out the other availability for the other days. So when someone clicks on that Bristol shoot type, the only availability they will be shown is on Mondays. And you just click save that. Okay, and you can just close that down. So now if you look at it's created these kind of groups for you. So this is the London one, which still has the other days or the other days available. But on the Bristol one, you'll see that all the availability is closed apart from on Mondays. And then if you want to go and do the same thing for the London service, you click on that link there, and maybe you kind of specify that maybe he's in London 2 days a week. So we just take out the availability on the other days and click save. And just close that down. And so now you'll see that's been applied both here. A way that as you add more services you can do, if you know that when the and as you add more services, you can apply the same availability to the different services that you offer. Say, for example, we had a service for children's headshots. We could make sure that they are included under this same group here, so that the same availability applies to children's headshots as opposed to adults' headshots. So you click edit group, and whereas here it's giving you the option to include Bristol, which you obviously don't want to do. If you had created a service called children's headshots, it would appear here, and you just tick the box, click save changes, and then it would apply to both Actor Headshots London and Child Actor Headshots London. So you got the availability set up. And of course, in terms of the group classes that we'd already set up, that we've already created the availability for those classes, so you don't need to worry about that. So that's basically how you set up the availability. One more thing to mention, which is quite cool, is the edit the defaults for the system. Now, these basically specify when people can change their appointments, what they can do in terms of how the clients interact with the system. And one way that we really like is this option here, which is make me look busy. Because especially when you first start out, you don't want to show all of the availability that you have in the system, because basically it makes it look like kind of, well, they can't be very good because they're not very popular. So whereas if half of the slots have already gone and you've only got 5 slots left out of 10, then obviously it gives people a little bit more impetus to actually kind of book, rather than go, oh, I'll wait till next week, it'll be fine. So just to basically encourage people to book now rather than delay. And another way that we also use it is to stop people cancelling less than 24 hours in advance. The default that it puts in is 12. However, we find that's not quite enough for us, so we prefer 24. So I just changed that to 24, and it just makes sure that people basically turn up for the session. And there's a few other options here, but those are the two main ones that we use. And just click save. So the next thing you need to do is to sync the appointments that are created in Acuity with your other calendars that you use. So the best way to do this is to click this option here which says sync with other calendars. So in our business, we use iCal for our calendar, as we're mainly use Macs and Apple products. However, Acuity does sync just as well with other calendars such as Google or Outlook. But I'm going to show you how to sync with iCal or iCloud as it's listed here. So just click in where it says sign into iCloud. This way you put your Apple ID in and an app-specific password, which is generated by Apple themselves on their iCloud. So to do that, you need to click this link here and scroll down to where it says how to generate an app-specific password, and click the link that's listed there. And it'll take you through to the right page to create an Apple ID password. So I'm just going to put my Apple ID in here. And hope I can remember the password properly. And because they just want to make sure that I'm not someone trying to hack the system, they just want to make sure that it's me. They just ask me for the passcode. Okay, and then slightly down to the bottom here it says generate password under app specific password, and it'll ask for like a label which is just a reference or something, so I'm just going to put that as Acuity. And here is the password, so I'm just going to copy that and then go back to the other tab and paste it into there, and also put in my Apple ID again. And then just link it up. And once it's thought about that for a minute, my Wi-Fi seems to be a bit slow today, then basically you just need to know which particular calendar within iCal it needs to sync to, because I've got different calendars for different types of appointment. So I've set one up specifically for the Acuity bookings. So basically just select Acuity from the list. I don't want to set any reminders, and just click save. And that should be all done. Now you'll see it's syncing. So basically anything that's in the iCal calendar already, it'll bring in, and vice versa. So just make sure they're the same. So if we go back to the homepage now, you'll see that the calendar shows the kind of the test one that they'd put in, which we'll go and delete in a minute, and also kind of the class that we'd put in and things like that. So for the training session. One thing that we really love about Acuity, and one of the reasons why we chose to use this, is the ability to send automated emails to anyone who books an appointment or when they change an appointment, and also as reminders, just say like something like the day before, just to remind them that they have it in the first place. And then also so afterwards, so maybe the day after, what happens next, or just maybe whenever it's like a few months afterwards and maybe they're due a new appointment or something like that. So there's lots of ways you can send these automated emails, and they're really easy to do. So I'm just going to scroll down and show you how. They're called email settings. So just click on that now. So whenever anyone books an appointment, they would get the initial confirmation. Now, this is the template that comes preloaded, which is quite ugly, but it's very easy to customize. So these things here are like mail merge fields. If anyone ever uses them in like Microsoft Word or anything like that, they just represent the information that's stored in the database. So this is the person's first name, their surname, what type of session they've booked for, when it is, and also where it is. So those are the kind of key information that is stored within it. However, there's lots of other ones you can have. So in terms of the kind of the price that they've paid, anything else that's kind of stored. If you ask them for their address, you can double check that they put the right address and they weren't thinking of something else. Sometimes I end up putting my the wrong mobile number. I put my other half's mobile number instead of my own when I'm writing an email. It's like, no, I didn't mean that, and things like that. So it's just sometimes it's nice to double check the key information. And to do this, so say for example, if I was customizing this, I would do something like I go hi, and then I would copy the mail merge field to represent whatever I want it to put. Say something like thanks much for booking a session. And then just confirm the details. And you can put like kind of just do the same thing, kind of where, when, the standard information. You can also put anything that they should know prior to the session. For example, when we send out our confirmations, we send out some advice on what they should wear, and this for us is a blog post which has examples of good colour tops and bad colour tops, and what we like and what we don't like and everything else, just to try and help them bring the right clothes to wear. Otherwise people never know what to wear and everything else. So it's just like anything that is useful for them to know before their session. And then it just kind of, you can sign it off. Also within this email, they can actually change or cancel their appointment if they want to. And they can also add it to their own calendar, which is obviously really useful for them to do. So that's a great thing. And you can just format it. So if you want to make things, bold, if you want to, just like, any kind of, just like you would do within any Word. Oh, it's not showing up for some reason, but it normally does work. So it's just like a formatting a HTML email, so it's quite easy to do. And in terms of the reminders, obviously we don't need to save that, it's just a thing. So reminders, you can specify when you want to send the email, and if you want to send it to yourself, and to the clients only. We just have it sent to the clients because we get enough emails anyway, so I don't really see the point in sending to us. And depending on the package that you have in Acuity, you can actually have the subject line of this reminder, of the first reminder, sent to them as a text message. So, for example, the day before their photo shoot, they would get a text message, and this here would be the content. So that kind of appointment reminder, and so you can if you customize that with maybe your company name or something, it can be quite useful. For us, we don't have that package because for us the emerging entrepreneur one is plenty for what we need. So but we find that actually the email reminder works really well anyway. And just like the other one, you can kind of customize it to whatever you want it to say. And again, they can kind of still change. If you send this reminder, just so that they can still change it if necessary, if they want to. So our minimum change time is 24 hours in advance of the session. So if you send this maybe kind of 36 hours, just to give them a little bit of window if they do need to change it, and then go so they don't go, no, I've got to shoot tomorrow, I can't do that. So you don't want to inspire panic in people. And you can also add more reminders if you want to. So if you want to maybe, I don't know why you would need, there's a limit to how many reminders you want, but you can have additional reminders as well. But we just have the one. If someone cancels an appointment, you can send them an email just to say, sorry, you cancelled. You can say about your cancellation policy, whatever that may be. And again, if they reschedule, they can kind of get the same email, which just confirms that your appointment has been changed to the following date or whatever. Something that we also think is really powerful is that you can send follow-up emails after their appointment. So, for example, you can have something that happens to us all the time is when people come for photo shoots, they have the shoot, and in the session, Sean, the photographer, will say, so we'll send you the gallery out to you in the next couple of days and everything else. And if before we used to do this, we used to get so many questions the next day kind of going, so what happens now? I'm sorry, I know you told me, but I can't remember and things. So if you send them a nice email, literally almost as they're leaving the building or the next day or something like that, it's a really nice way, because people are so busy kind of thinking about about the session, and their head's probably swimming or whatever it is, that it's nice for them to have something written down to confirm the next steps or anything you want to say, really. Or even if it's just it was great to see you today, look forward to seeing you again soon. It's just a nice customer service thing. You can also send them a follow-up in the future. So, for example, actors should have headshots done, photographed every 12 months. So maybe after, every 12 months, it might be nice to send them just a nice catch-up email. Go, hey, how's it going? It's been 12 months since your last headshot session. Just wondered if you need any updates doing. Just kind of nice to keep in touch and things like that. So it's nice to just have a general automated thing to allow you to kind of keep in touch with your clients. And it's again, because it's all automated, it's not something you have to worry about, and it's just done for you. So that's the email reminders that you can do, which for us, it really is a deal breaker and really just helps us automate our business. Something else that you can also do is you can sell gift certificates via the system. So if someone buys a gift certificate for someone, they can actually receive an automated email just to kind of confirm the details of their gift certificates. So it's quite a nice little kind of touch that you can kind of make a nice personalized message, so they have something to give to that person. So so the automated emails are great and really are useful for the business. And just for us, make sure that people actually turn up to the sessions, which is always nice. The last thing to do is to show you how to set up payment settings. Now, in our business, we use Stripe to accept payments, but within Acuity, you can accept Stripe, just Stripe on its own, or Stripe and PayPal. I wish they synced with or accepted other payments like WorldPay or something like that, but unfortunately they don't. They also accept Square, but I'm not as familiar with that, so it's Stripe that we use, and it's really easy. You just click on whichever one you want. You need to put in your details here, all the kind of company number and everything else like that. Yeah, and just then authorize it, and it should automatically be set up, and then the two will automatically be linked. So alternatively, if you already have an account with Stripe, you can just log in there and it will just connect the two, and that's the way that I did it when I set up the Acuity, so it's nice and easy for you. And basically that's all there is to setting it up. There's other little things that you can do in terms of making the color of the when it's on your website, making the colors same as yours, that sort of thing. There's all sorts of other integrations that you can have, like integrate into your accounts package. You can integrate into other things like MailChimp and all sorts of different things, because there's lots of information within Acuity, such as the obviously your client list and where they found you and everything else. So that's a very important and powerful marketing tool. So there's lots of reports that you can run through this as well, which you just click on by clicking on the reports here. But that's kind of how to set up Acuity. As I said, we use it a lot in our business, and we find that it really does keep things automated. So, you can get up in the morning and overnight you've had, a couple of bookings come in, and it's great that, it's quite a nice feeling that you haven't even had to touch anything, and it's like your website is literally working for you. So it's just a nice thing to kind of, that one less things that you have to do. And as we all know, if you have your own business, there's never enough hours in the day, so it's actually something that makes your life a little bit easier. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, or just kind of, I hope you like the video and I hope you find it useful. If there's anything I've not covered, again, just ask me a question in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it for you. And please do like and subscribe to our channel. We will be doing lots of other videos on both Acuity and other business software like this, as well as photography. So please do like and subscribe, and also hit the bell button so you don't miss any notifications when we've posted a new video. So thanks very much for listening and watching, and good luck with setting up your Acuity. Bye.